Your word is currency, especially in this day and age when so many people, they want authenticity, they want realness.
I think if you guys don't have the communication, there's going to be expectations on both ends. And if you guys don't know those expectations, something's going to happen.
I am also responsible for keeping her spark alive. If I am just not paying attention to how I'm loving her and I'm not loving her the way she wants to be loved, like that's on me. Sometimes there are hard conversations that you have to have, and you can't shy away from that because it's a growth opportunity.
I have taken 2 pregnancy tests in the last 2 weeks. My life changes the second we conceived, and I was not ready for that. Hello, my loves. Welcome back to the Better Than Before podcast. I am Yami, your host, and today we have your second favorite podcast guest.
First favorite guest.
Oh, right.
Of course.
Yeah.
Right? Right.
Second favorite host. I said I was going to go, but he's not the host. Anyway, I should probably think
Second
about
favorite person that's on this podcast.
Maybe. Sure.
Maybe.
Let us know.
There are people way more interesting than me.
But
let's go.
Yeah, I'm excited because you guys usually love when Taz is on. We just don't really plan this. We just like get on, hit record, and whatever happens.
Typically do like a Q&A on social to maybe spark some conversation, but it's just kind of, we're going to go for it.
Yeah. I don't remember the last time you were on the podcast. We were talking about this offline, and I was saying that he can probably give us a quick little update on where he's been, because he's been MIA in your world. Probably not, but before that, how's your week going? It's the first official week of 2025. I know it started well, I guess we are officially a week in, but what I was thinking about was my new year started on Monday, the 6th. Like I need to start something on a Monday or else it doesn't count. So for me, it was more so like a midweek check-in. But we can also say, how's your first week of the new year been?
I will say I feel great so far.
I know, me too. I'm like on top of the world, I feel.
Yeah. It's been going really smoothly. We, what was it, on Friday? Did we go to the coffee shop and like figure out our schedule and kind of rework things?
Saturday.
It was Saturday. And that really set the tone for this first week, I suppose. Starting on Monday. When I say first week, we're recording this on the 8th.
On the 8th.
On the 8th. And
should be up next week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do this fast.
Should be very, very recent. But yeah, it really set the tone for, I think, expectations for both of us. We're going in knowing exactly what each day is going to look like. And that really helps with when we have work to do and when who's taking Luna and just knowing, having things, the expectation is set and it helps a lot.
For context, Luna is in school, but she's only going to school 3 times a week. So obviously with Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, she needs to be cared for.
Yeah. So she's in school Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're recording this on a Wednesday. She's and we say school, but it's daycare, but they follow a curriculum. Yeah. And so we call it school.
And today's officially her first day back since
she's been off for like 2.5 weeks.
Yeah. It's been so hard. It's almost, obviously it's hard. It's just, when you have a kid or babies. But it's felt really good to have her here 24/7, but then also it's back to how we were trying to handle things before we had childcare, and it was just like, can you watch her? Can I watch her? But I have this, and you have that, but like,
yeah.
And so
we have responsibilities outside of like watching her to get work done and deadlines for things, and
yeah. So today's her first day back. I miss her like crazy.
Already. What time is it?
It's only 10.
10:22. It's like, wait, is she home yet?
Yeah. She is learning to spell her name. Well, I guess she knows how to spell her name this morning. I was just writing her name on
a pack of wipes.
That we have to send to school. And she was just like, L-U-N-A. And then I was like, get your camera out.
Wait a second.
I know.
When
I was
did
like,
that happen?
yeah.
So she's growing like a weed.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's something new every single day. And it's so fun. This stage is so fun. I was talking to Yami not yesterday, but maybe last week, saying how this stage is just so fun because her personality is really coming through. And it comes with its challenges because she's really trying to assert herself and defy us a little bit and do things her way. And obviously, like, we want things done a certain way. And that doesn't mean we're not letting her explore and figure out how to do things on her own. But at the end of the day, like she's in our house, we're her parents. Like what we say goes.
Yeah, she's saying no a lot, and we're like, I'm sorry, ma'am.
Excuse me. And then like she's gonna have to learn very soon. Like there are consequences for like disobeying.
Yeah,
and we're definitely working through that.
Yeah, we haven't really agreed on what we want to do. We can get into that. Soon. Yeah, I know. We can get into that if you guys are curious.
Discipline.
Yeah.
And our take on discipline.
Yeah.
I suppose. But
she's saying, and what's interesting to me is like she's saying words that we don't ever say. So I'm like, where did you learn that? She's saying mine a lot, like mine. And we're like, oh no.
Yeah.
We gotta nip this in the bud right now. And it's like she'll grab something and she'll be mine, and I'm like, no, chill.
Yeah. If you're watching this, she'll like try and act like she's snatching something, like grabbing it with her hand and say mine. And like when we say no, like give
we have to share,
please, or it's like no, mine, and she'll pull it in really close, and I think that's her way of trying to assert herself and push the boundaries with what she can get away with.
Yeah.
And
but we love it.
We do.
She's the best.
It's been great. It's been a great learning experience, and just great, not just learning experience, but a great experience overall.
Yeah, totally. And, how did we get into the subject? What were we talking about before?
We were talking about update with me.
Oh, right.
How the first week has gone. Wow, we kind of went off on a little rabbit trail.
Yeah.
But overall, the first week has gone well, just because I think communication is so big, and this could go into like a bigger topic, but just the fact that we communicated up front before our year started, before Monday started, the 6th, it helped us just get off on the right foot. And so she knows what I'm doing. I know what she's doing. We both know what needs to get done. And it helps me because I'm a very big working inside of a system. It's hard to just like kind of freeball it and just do whatever. So if I know there are specific expectations, whether we're, Wednesdays are podcast days, and I know, okay, there's an episode coming out next week. I need to make time specifically to edit that, to get it up for that date. And that applies to so many other things with Fit Club and with other things that we're doing with marketing stuff. And just knowing I have a certain project to do by a certain time, it helps me tremendously. So overall, all that to say, the first few days have felt very smooth, and I'm excited to see what the rest of the year, what unfolds as we work through it. But no, it feels good. I've committed to training.
Do you want to ask how my week is
working
going?
Out? Not yet.
Oh.
We're still on me. No,
He's like, I have the mic. I'm the guest today.
This is mine. Put your mic away.
I'm sorry.
No. I'm just feeling good. Training. I haven't trained consistently in a long time. And when I say long time, I probably mean like 9 to 12 months. It's kind of been here and there and once or twice a week, and then I'll fall off. And so I've trained every single day this week.
Let's go.
Actually for the full 7 days, I think, since we started the new year back on shortly after the 1st. So I've been training. It's felt good. I've committed to not missing 2 days in a row.
Well, also you have to give some context because you sound like you're really lazy right now, and you're not. He has been dealing with a lot of injuries, like his back.
Sure. But nobody cares about my excuses.
They're not excuses.
True.
Because there are days that like you work out and then you wake up, your back is awful, and then you literally can't work out for a couple of days because you have to. So you have to kind of give context, and so
I'm being very stringent with my rehab as well.
That's what I was going to say too. Like that is like, yes, you have that excuse, but I think you putting in the effort to be intentional with those rehab exercises to set you up to be able to work out more is what's key.
Yeah. No, it's been great.
Yeah.
So overall, it's felt good. What about your first week?
Wait, since you've already said it, what's your word of the year?
Oh, my word. Did I say my word?
You did. You've said you've committed to working out again.
Oh, yeah. So she just said it. How's your week going? No, I'm good.
No.
My word of the year is commit. And I've realized that I just need to just do that. Commit to what I say I'm going to do. And that doesn't mean like, oh, I want to go climb Mount Kilimanjaro. Like,
I was just going to say that. That was
like
so
everything
weird.
that pops into my mind, I'm going to commit to, but I I want to bring back my podcast. It's called The Camera Department, and just get more consistent with that. But I wanted something more than just, I was playing around with like consistency as my word, but commit is just like you're committing to yourself, you're committing to your family. A lot of that, like when training, like I'm committing to my family when I train, although it's a little bit selfish to take time out of your day that you could be spending time with.
But it's not selfish.
It's not. At the end of the day, it's not. Like you're taking care of yourself so you can better take care of others.
Yeah. And you're also, Luna doesn't really see us work out. She knows, she obviously knows what we're doing. But I think if your kids see you doing that, I think it's setting a really good example and setting them up for success. Because if they see you doing it, it's not like foreign to them when they get to that point. So
like right now I train during her nap. Yami typically trains in the morning. So yeah, Luna doesn't see that, but I think she will.
Totally.
She will probably in the next couple of years because it's hard to, she doesn't have the attention span. And like maybe in the next year or so, she could actually like kind of work out with us. But right now she'd probably like pick up a weight and then drop it and like run off. And
she has done that. Yeah. She has done that. Like she has been, so was it in the summer where my mom was working out with you in the garage and it was like a little bit warmer and I had already worked out. So I would just like hang out because she wants to be where the action is. And so she would be, and she'd like pick up a 2-pound weight. Honestly, she'd pick up a 5-pound weight doing the step ups, being on the bench. It's really, really cute. So I'm excited when she gets a little bit older and she's able to just be with us in the gym and work out with us.
Yeah. So word of the year, commit, and just do what I say I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Yami talked about it so much last year about you don't want Luna to look at you when she gets older and be like, why didn't you do that? Or why did you not follow through? Or give her any reason to not think you're the best person in the world.
Literally. Really, that's literally my biggest fear. That's my biggest fear.
And for me, it's just, if I say I'm going to do something, just freaking do it.
Yeah. I had an epiphany. What he's talking about is that like we say we're going to do all these things and we just don't for whatever reason. Everybody has their own reasons. But then I thought about like Luna being like 15, 16, that really like that sweet age where it's very like not impressionable, but they know what's going on. Like they are almost adults. They see other people's parents. They probably start comparing, people to people, and they're what's the word I'm looking for? They're like, I don't mean to curse, but it's like they see through the BS. Like they see through like, you're my mom and you do this and this, but like you're also like a person, and if you're not gonna follow through with things, like
like kids pick up on that really quick.
Totally.
And if you're not true to your word, if you can't do something for yourself, training, I'm going to go back to that. How can anybody expect you to hold your word when it comes to business, when it comes to life, when it comes to friendships? Like it even comes down to something as little as being someplace when you say you're going to be there and not being late and doing everything you can to just hold your word, because your word is currency.
Yeah.
Especially in this day and age when so many people, they want authenticity, they want realness. And if you aren't who you say you are, or if you don't hold up like your end of things, you're going to be dead to people really quick.
Yeah. And that's what you don't want to. Yeah, no, that's a scary place to be. Like I think about that with Luna and I'm like, no, please love me again.
Yeah, like if we tell her we're going to do something, even if it's like, oh yeah, we're going to go get ice cream after school today.
Like
and you don't do it, like they're going to remember that. I remember we're going off on a little bit of a tangent here, but growing up, I had an uncle and we went to a Bruins game. I grew up in the Northeast. If you're just now tuning into us, I grew up in the Northeast, so we went to a Bruins game, and I'll never forget when we left.
Wait, who is this? Tell me after.
Yeah. And he said, I said, oh, I would love to go to another one. And he said, I promise we'll go to another one. And we never went to another one.
Oh, how old are you?
Ooh, I was, I don't remember, young, probably 7 or 8.
Oh, that's so
maybe.
sad.
And it's just like, wow, like we never got to another game. I went to another game personally,
right? But
he never took me to another game.
Yeah.
And it just stuck with me.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you don't want to be that person.
Yeah. When like I'll find myself like, if Luna's like, for instance, today she's like, play. And she's talking about playground. And my first instinct is to say, yeah, we'll go later today. But no, we're not. Like, we don't have time to go to playground today. She's back in school. Like, we don't have. And so I was like,
it's cold.
And it's freezing. Yeah.
I mean,
so I changed that really quick.
35 degrees.
Yeah, it's freezing.
It's wild.
I quickly changed it and I'm like, oh, you get to go on the playground at school today. Like they have like an indoor playground. Because I don't ever want, number one, to lie to her. And number two, promise her something or say something that we can't do. Obviously things change and yada, yada. But
if you say something and you know it's not going to happen, that's another thing. It's like, if you know, okay, the playground might not be in the cards today because it's cold and you have school and like whatever, but you say it anyway. Yeah, we'll go later. Even if she doesn't understand now, like,
yeah, it's just like because it's going to be hard for you as a person if you're doing that now, if she doesn't understand, like, sure, whatever. But like, if you keep doing it, that's going to become a habit for you. And then it's going to be a harder habit to break down the line when she does understand it. So,
yeah, no, absolutely.
So anyway,
enough about me. How was your first week going?
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. It has been. I can see it.
It has been really good.
I can see it.
Yeah.
You're thriving.
Thanks. We should do more podcasts so you can just talk about how great I am all the time.
You're so great.
Thank you.
You're blossoming in the middle of winter.
You have no idea what you're saying right now. No, I'm good. We started the 25 Live Challenge this past Monday. And if you have no idea what that is, it's the newest challenge and program on my app. And it's 25 live. It's 25 live workouts till the first week of February. So we're doing Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Central. And it's been so fun. The community has just shown up and they're just obsessed with this challenge, which is always great as a trainer. Like if you program something and you're obviously, it's that you're putting it out there for the people to judge. And you always want them to enjoy it because, working out or exercises are sometimes a little bit boring. And as a trainer, you know what is efficient and what works. And it's usually like just the tried and true exercises. And so you try to like spice them up a little bit, but you also want to give them the best workout. And so it's been really good. I've been having to wake up at I don't have to wake up that early, but I wanted a little bit of alone time before. There's a journaling aspect of it. And I selfishly programmed it like this because it's like my morning routine and it's been so helpful. So there's like a meditation that you can do in the morning and then some journaling. And then I just want to drink my coffee in peace, have no rushing, get ready. And 7 a.m. we hit live and we're
off and running.
And it's been really great. The workouts have been about 30 minutes. We're usually live until 7:45. We chat a little bit and then the cool down, the warm up. But, and then after that, like Taz mentioned, we had the schedule that we planned out and I took it a step further. And when we met, it was mostly to like talk about the new schedule and touch on some goals. We didn't talk about this, but last year we took some time and talked about our goals, did our goals together. And we briefly mentioned this because I think our goals are still pretty much the same from last year. If you haven't done this with your partner, I highly suggest you do because it does put you on the same page and your goals don't have to be the same, but you can hold each other accountable. And if there are goals like for travel and stuff, and if you guys don't talk about what you want for the year, then it's never going to happen. Like there might be like a trip that might pop up and like, oh, let's do this. But like if you intentionally want to go on, let's say for me, I want to travel one quarter a year at least, or one trip a quarter. We have to talk about it and say, we can make one just an us trip, maybe a family trip, a quick getaway. So anyway, if you haven't done that, do that. But I took it a step further and I scheduled out my day in terms of like what's getting done on each day because it's been really, really helpful. And now that Luna's back in school, I'm excited to like really put it to use because like we mentioned, she went back to school today. So, but yeah, things are good. What else? I know this has nothing to do with anything, but I am not fully consumed, but maybe halfway consumed.
Fully. I know what you're going to say.
What?
Wicked.
Oh, no, I wasn't going to say fully. Yes, I am fully consumed with Wicked. Yes, we can talk about Wicked. Wicked, if you haven't seen it, please go see it. It is...
I don't think it's in theaters anymore.
Is it not?
I don't know.
Come on over. I'm going to buy it. So... but no, what I was going to say was I am semi-consumed with this whole Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni thing.
Yeah.
If you have no idea what's going on,
Some
maybe
good
good for
lessons to be
you.
learned there.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Well, maybe more so when like everything
comes out, yeah, for sure. It's insane.
Wild.
It's been wild. It's about the movie It Ends With Us, and there's Blake Lively sued Justin Baldoni, and Justin Baldoni is like, hold up, here are my receipts. And so he sued the New York Times because that's who she partnered with to blast it to the world. So he's suing them for defamation or something. And then his lawyer came out and said, oh, don't worry. We are about to sue Blake Lively. We're just getting all our receipts ready. And he's like, all the texts will be revealed.
Apparently, Blake Lively's team doctored some of they didn't tell the whole story.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Apparently, like we don't.
Yeah, allegedly.
We're just saying this like
allegedly.
Right now,
say allegedly.
Come out allegedly.
Thank you.
As things come out, because before everybody was painting Justin as like this terrible guy.
Yeah, the poor guy.
And
again, I don't know what's going on.
Like I'm so Team Raphael.
I know.
If you know, you
Jane
know.
the Virgin.
Jane the Virgin. But yeah, and then you hear all this stuff. It's like, oh wait, no, that's not
what happened.
The whole truth.
Yeah.
There might be some truth to both sides of the story.
Totally.
Nobody's perfect, but it sounds like they were blowing it way out of proportion
because she didn't get her way in some things apparently.
Yeah, so
anyway,
we don't know exactly, but it's been very, very interesting. I'm about a quarter consumed with it only because she keeps me updated.
Because I have nobody else to talk about this. I'm like, did you see what happened?
So she's like she keeps me updated with what's going on.
Yeah,
so
but this is not
crazy.
A gossip brag by any means.
No.
But it's just like catch up. And what we've been up to these past couple weeks or couple days.
Year.
Yeah. But yeah, I did ask on anything. Oh, I did want to say something. His word of the year was committed. You guys, if you heard the podcast 2 weeks ago, I said my word of the year is discipline and heart. And after I said that, I was like thinking about it and I'm like, yeah, it's definitely discipline, but it's also, I was like, oh, do I want to switch it? But discipline is working. Let me tell you, discipline is working.
Because discipline, we say it all the time. We've said it since like when we were training, like discipline is going to take the place of motivation when motivation isn't around.
Yeah.
And so it's like a deeper, if you're disciplined, if you're committed. And one reason I picked commit was because it was along the same lines of discipline. I would have taken discipline, but I didn't want to pick the exact same word as her. But commit and discipline are very similar kind of in a lot of ways. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah. But I also was thinking about excellence as being a word because there are some things, and I'm throwing myself under the bus here. There are some things that I could do that I will do just to get it done, but I'm probably not doing them at the best possible like way that I can actually do it. So I think
that's your Enneagram Wing 3 coming out. Seriously.
What's Wing 3 again? Or
Wing 3 is the achiever. Right? 1 is the perfectionist because I'm thinking Brad's a 1.
Yeah, it's a 1.
And Paige is a 3. And they're both like, they both pursue excellence, but a lot of times the 3 will do something just to get it done. Oh. And the 1 will actually do it like exactly
the way it needs to get done. Yeah. That's interesting.
So, yeah.
If you don't know what we're talking about is Enneagram, it's actually really interesting. I'm a 4 Wing 3.
That's it.
I think you're right. No, you're right. You're right. You just reminded me. Yeah.
You're a 4.
I am a 4.
That's your wing.
I am a very hard 4. Like, yeah, but I'm also 3. Okay, but moving on, we got some questions on Instagram that some you guys wanted to know. So let's talk about it. Number 1, which one should we do? How do you handle having such a hot husband? Who do you think that came from?
Dang, who asked that? How do you handle having such a hot husband and just not wanting to like,
what?
All day?
Okay. You know exactly who asked that question. No, not you. Okay. Handling marriage now with a child. How do you keep the spark alive?
That's a good question.
Where's the spark?
We'll let
I'm
you
just
know
kidding.
when we find it again. No. We've actually had a lot of these conversations.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them. And it's been hard because so much of it comes down to not necessarily what's, I think, convenient for you, but how the other person receives love. And understanding how you want to express your love doesn't always mean that the other person is going to receive it that way.
Yeah. Is that it?
You can add some stuff in as I think.
Yeah. No, I think one thing that I've learned is that, so I was wrecked as a kid with all these freaking romance movies. Like that's what I expect, or that's what I expected my life to be when you were married and all that. But I have come to learn that is not usually the 24/7 of it. Yes, of course, there'll be some moments where it's super romantic, but I have learned to appreciate the mundane more.
That's good.
Thanks. I have learned to appreciate the mundane more because expectations were too high, and I think I've realized that. Why am I saying this in public? Because now it's going to be like, you said your expectations were too high.
No, but it's self-awareness too.
Yeah, totally. If there is one thing that I am self-aware, and I realize that, like, okay, stop being a little bee. But keeping the spark alive, number one, you have to ask yourself what that spark is for you. I know exactly what the spark is for Taz. And I know the spark, and I know what the spark is for me. So number one is probably communicating that with your partner. And then taking the steps to do so, whether that be being intentional about a date night. And I think also a lot of people put pressure on like how many date nights you need to go on. I think it's personal for each couple. Like if it needs to be once a week, then great. But if you guys are, I don't know, in a busy season and you can't do it every day, every week, or, just find something that works for you that will allow to keep that spark alive and thriving.
Yeah.
What else?
I think it could be going off of what you just said, a shift in perspective. Like, and it doesn't always need to be you guys get out for a sit down meal. Mm-hmm. Like if it's a busy season, okay, well, how about you guys both take time out of your day and sit down and have lunch together at home? And that, while you can consider that a date.
Yeah.
And it might not be the traditional date you're used to, but if you reframe like, oh, this is the time I get to spend with them because we're in a busy season right now. We just had a baby and we don't get to do the things we normally get to do, but this is what we have right now.
Yeah.
And we'll get back to that point. We'll get back to that at some point. But
then it makes it that much sweeter because you are intentional of honoring where you're at. And then when you are able to go out and have some alone time and actually have like an activity or like a fancy meal, then it's going to be, I don't know, it just feels like it'll be much sweeter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think talking about the spark, keeping the spark is both of your responsibilities. Mm-hmm. It's not just on one person.
Yeah.
If one person is lagging and not doing their part, then sure, that's an issue. But you, in a way, you need to put, I know I'm not responsible for Yami's happiness. She's not responsible for my happiness, but I am also responsible for keeping her spark alive. Like if I am just not paying attention to how I'm loving her and I'm not loving her the way she wants to be loved, like that's on me. Mm-hmm. That's not on her. Mm-hmm. And that's something that needs to be communicated. If I'm missing the mark and if I think I'm doing something that to me, yeah, this is great and this is helping and it could be helping, it could be a great thing. But if it's not how she receives love, she's not going to feel loved. That's just the bottom line.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
If she thinks she's taking care of me, but I'm not feeling like, oh, I could do without that. I actually want this over here. Then that's on me to communicate that. Mm-hmm. And it's on her to kind of, as a spouse, it's on her to fulfill that. Mm-hmm. Because that's why we're here. We're here to complement each other.
Yeah.
And we got married for a reason because we committed to caring for each other in a specific way. And does that mean we hit the mark all the time? No. Does that mean we sometimes have to have conversations every 6 months? Like, okay, let's bring it back in. We're kind of in honest conversations about where we might be missing the mark, where we're also doing well, and just making sure you're staying in alignment with each other.
Yeah. I had a thought and it just escaped me.
Oh no.
I know. I got into what you were saying. Well, that's unfortunate. Stop. That's not helping.
They're talking about caring for each other in the spark.
Oh. I think we might have said this before in other podcasts in the last season. But I forgot how to say it. It was like, it's almost like each of us have to go above and beyond for each other. And then there's no way that the other person doesn't feel that spark. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like out serving each other?
Out serving each other. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you go into each day, and again, I'm not saying like I'm perfect at this, but if you go into each day thinking, okay, she's not going to outserve me. She's not going to love me better, and she's not going to do more for me than I'm going to do for her. And you constantly do that. If you both are doing that.
Yes, if you're both are doing that.
You both are winning because you're trying to outdo, like it's not a competition.
No.
But it's like an internal mindset.
It's like a hack.
Yeah. It's just a mindset of, okay, I'm going to serve the crap out of her.
And this is not like for you to think about ways to, I mean, obviously, yes, but like, it's not like I want you to go on with your day, but I also want you to think of your spouse as you're doing it, because probably what made you guys fall in love with each other is how you were treating each other in the beginning. And so, you know, to keep some of those aspects alive is, number one, beautiful. And number two, like, it goes back to the outserving thing. Like, but I want to make sure that we're getting our point across. And it's not like, okay, 8 a.m., I'm going to do this. 8:30 a.m., I'm going to do this. It's not that. No. It's just, do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just
being mindful of the other person. And being mindful. Yeah.
A little text can go a long way. A little unwarranted, like me and her, we work from home, so like we're here all the time. But an unwarranted, like if I know she hasn't eaten and I bring in a snack for her or something.
What he really wants to say is an unwarranted afternoon delight.
I only got another hour to wait. Your afternoon. No.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. I hope we answered that question. It's not like it is. Yeah, it is definitely the little things for me, especially. Okay. I'm trying to go in order. Like, what would make the most sense? Somebody asked, how do you keep the relationship strong? It's kind of the same thing. I know keeping the spark alive and then keeping the relationship strong is a little bit different. But I think it goes back to communication. I think if you guys don't have the communication, there's going to be expectations on both ends. And if you guys don't know those expectations, something's gonna happen. Hopefully not. And you guys are just in tune. But if you guys don't talk about it, then you're not going to know what you're both trying to do.
Yeah. And
that is just a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. I totally agree. A lot of it for me kind of comes down to making sure that she understands what I'm doing and honoring that. So, for example, I scheduled my workouts for 12:30 to 1:30 every single day. And if she knows that, she's able to say, okay, well, he has this time. I'm not going to encroach on that. I'm not going to ask him to do something. I'm not going to try and fill it up because it's his time. And if she honors that speaks levels to me. That like it's like, wow, she understands. That's also a sign of support where she's on board.
That also might not seem like a big deal to a lot of people because of course your husband's going to go work out. But I have a problem. Like, I just want to be around Taz when he's home. It's like a problem. Like, I'm not like, yes, I'm obsessed with my husband, but like, I don't know. It's weird when he's home. I'm like, can we just hang out and be in the same room and just like, So it's a big deal if I'm not like asking for him to do something or be next to me and
then also compliments your word of the year, discipline.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like discipline extends to so
totally. That's why I picked it.
Like every single thing that you do, like it involves some sort of discipline.
Yeah.
And coming down to honoring your spouse's schedule. And that's specific to us, but maybe somebody else is in the same situation where it's like, hey, I have this time and like, please do not, I'm not gonna say bother me, but please
don't disturb me.
Please honor the time that I have because it's that time for a specific reason.
Yeah.
And if that time is honored, then it's only going to benefit everybody. Like a work, let's translate it to a work block. If I have a 3-hour work block set aside and I can crank out so much work in 3 hours. But if she's like, hey babe, what about this or this or this? And she's not honoring that time, it's only going to extend out the time I have to work and it's going to hurt both of us.
Yeah.
So like I said, that can extend, the honoring can extend to so many different parts of life. And it really helps a lot.
Yeah. Also adding that, I think something that has helped me, and I think I might have touched on it on the last podcast that I did, but it's doing things for yourself. I think a lot of times we want to do everything together with our spouse, which is great. But I think sometimes we forget about our own passions and what we used to like and what we used to do because we're so happy with our spouse, which is great. But then you start getting into this life that becomes kind of, again, mundane, and you're doing the same thing day in and out. And then you start to kind of maybe resent your life because you're not doing anything fun. I know that's a little bit dramatic, but I don't resent my life. That's
but it can get to that.
But it can get to that point, right? And so one of my goals last year was to pick up hobbies, and honestly, like I've never been happier than the last 2 months of 2024, which I have to do that now. But all that to say is that like find things that you want to do by yourself, even if it's like a workout class or take music lessons or art or I don't know, photography or
get back
baking.
to a passion.
Yeah, just do something that fulfills you as a person and not necessarily you waiting on another person to do something with you.
That's good.
And if both of you are doing that, you'll come as two whole people being more. It's not like you're half of him and he's half of you, and then you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, next question. If you both have passions you love, how do you balance it in a relationship? Who shines when? Well, I shine all the time.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Riri. I don't think it has to be
one or the other. Yeah, me either.
It doesn't mean like one person's shining and the other person's not. I think you can both do it at the same time. For us, like we have passions and we've scheduled them out, like, and we're doing them. Our hobbies are our passions at specific times, and you just communicate what needs to be done when, and that's it. I don't know if that answers the question.
Should we let Bleeker in? I can't concentrate with her whining.
Either. Yeah.
Give me a second. You want to do it?
Give me a second.
Yeah. Literally. Let's be honest here. That's funny. Come on, doggo. Just don't press the red button, okay? You want to come up here? Come here. What I was going to say about that is going back to, it's not one or the other. I think you've heard it before. Somebody else's shine or somebody else's light doesn't diminish yours. I think it's just about supporting that other person with the best ways that you can. And that's it, really. Like, I think sometimes we overcomplicate things and it's like, oh, he's doing this, I can't do that. Like, why not?
Yeah.
And also this might be super specific and you're not sharing that much information to be able to answer it, but I don't think anyone has to outshine anybody or take turns, I think.
Yeah. For us, our hobbies are like an hour or so a week. And the hobby or the passion for maybe me anyways is more so to I guess, get time alone.
Yeah.
Like doing my own thing.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm out of the house, I'm doing my own thing. And it doesn't mean, I need to get out and get away from my family. It's more so like everybody needs their own thing.
Yeah.
I think. And it does help. And for me, it helps. Even like working out can also be like some of that time. But I do my thing, and then I come back and I'm actually like,
no, I literally told him, I was like, you need a hobby. You need to get out of the house.
Yeah.
Like, because it's life changing. And I think I feel like this question is not about hobbies per se. I think it might be about like careers maybe. And if that's the case, we have been lucky enough to, I want to say like it's become our job kind of like he loves cameras, loves the back end stuff. He's like, and that's like a thing that just happened. It just happened organically.
Yeah.
It's insane, that story. But I think we're lucky and blessed to have him love that, where he helps me in that, which is a question that we'll get to. And then mine is helping women. That's like literally the number one thing. And we've been lucky enough to have that be our career. So we're doing that daily. Now, I do know that there are sometimes people, I can't think who it was, but, or maybe it was a movie that I saw. I don't know what, but there are instances where like, I don't know, you are working, let's just say a 9 to 5 while your husband is in medical school or something like that. That of course is, yes, his time to not necessarily shine, but put in the work so that he has the capabilities to do what he wants to do and become that doctor. And then maybe when he's, all settled in as a doctor, it's your time to fulfill what you need to fulfill. I know that there are sacrifices that need to be made in a relationship to do something like that. I don't know if that's the question, but I have heard of things like that. Then it's like, you have to have a conversation with your spouse and see what makes the most sense. Like, if you go to medical school now and then you can, launch your business in the next couple of years. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's just it goes back to communication mostly 99% of the time.
Everything is a matter of a conversation. Everything.
Yeah.
Whether it's at work or whether it's with your spouse or family, everything is just worth a conversation, because if nothing is talked about, then you're not going to know how to fix things if they need to be fixed. You're not going to know how to move forward. You're not going to know how to grow. So just like a conversation, don't be afraid of a conversation.
Yeah.
And as husband and wife, we can't be afraid to say something that might ruffle feathers. Not saying we're going into a conversation trying to like rile the other person up, but sometimes there are hard conversations that you have to have.
Yeah.
And you can't shy away from that, because it's a growth opportunity.
Totally.
I think.
Yeah. And
you're only going to come out better on the other side. If it's not a conversation that's going to lead to divorce,
yeah,
chances are it's not. And if you're both going in seeking to understand instead of seeking to be heard, you're going to come out the other side.
Yeah. We always have to remember
it.
It's the two of you against the world. It's not you against your husband or your husband against you. And I think a lot of people, that's like their first reaction. So if you remember that it's the two of you versus everybody else, that's a good change of perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, Bleeker is on me now, and her mouth smells so bad, like her breath. Okay.
Little dog breath smell.
Yeah.
Vicky.
How did y'all get Luna to sleep in her room? I was out of town.
I made her do it.
Yeah.
Like,
no, literally.
It kind of goes back to what we said at the very beginning. Like, we are the parents, and there are certain things like this is how
but
it's
she
gonna
had
be.
no, not really. She had no choice. She was 4 or 5 months old.
No, but like,
I think it was.
she had a choice. She could have wailed and wailed and wailed and wailed.
Yeah,
like that was her way of communicating at the time.
Yes.
And like, you just have to get past that.
I know,
point
but I think they want more literal answers.
So
how
did we get her?
How did we do it?
What did we do?
Yes. So seriously speaking, I was going out of town for a work trip, and I said, do it when I'm out of town, because I can't hear the crying. I'm going to pick her up and bring her back to my room. And so that's what we did. And then to keep her in her room, I think she did really well.
No, she picked up on it so fast.
Yeah, so
and
fast.
they do. As long as you are consistent as the parent, I think you stick to something and the kids will learn.
Yeah.
They will. I think where a lot of people run into issues is they try something for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and they don't get past that point of them actually fully grasping it. So Luna, like she didn't want to be in her room alone at first.
Yeah.
And we essentially we taught her like, this is okay.
Your room.
This is your room. This is okay. This is how it's going to be. And she got it.
Yeah. It's so cute now. At first she wasn't like she would only use her room to sleep. And now she's like, room.
Go to my room.
Let's go to my room.
Yeah, that's her place. And so essentially I moved. It was in like, I think right at 6 months. We moved her into her own
That's so
room.
funny. You remember that at 6 months, and I'm like, she was 4 months. She was such a baby.
She was 3 weeks old.
Yeah. No, but I do know some parents that put their baby in very first day, and that wouldn't work for me. But again, to each their own. You're doing your own family. You find what works for you, and so
that didn't make sense for us because we were like still feeding throughout the night,
right?
And if we want to keep any sort of like quality of life for the first couple months, like it made more sense for her to sleep in our room so we could just pick her up and like feed her and then put her back.
But I also wanted her near me.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, cool. With that question, somebody else asked, do you guys want more kids? It's so funny. So I don't care. I'm an open book. I have taken 2 pregnancy tests in the last 2 weeks. And then this morning I weighed myself and I was like, no, sis, you just gained 10 pounds.
Just a little fluffy after the holidays.
I was like, oh, it makes sense now.
But you were 4 days late on your period.
No, yes.
You're never late.
3 days late. I was 3 days late. And
then it came
full force. And I was like, okay, nope, not pregnant.
Yep.
Yeah. So we've talked about this a lot. Like we're still, I don't want to say unsure. But we've talked about this even like when maybe even a year ago. And I will never forget that. It was like the words of wisdom from Yami. He's like, oh, I'm ready to have a kid. And it just like came out of me, right? I was like, yeah, because nothing changes for you. Like you have 9 months until your life changes again. My life changes the second we conceive. And I was not ready for that. Because if you remember the last pregnancy, it was very hard on me. And I think that is what's stopping me from saying yes, because the pregnancy was so hard and my delivery was a dream. So I could do the delivery. My friend is actually getting induced today. And I'm like so excited for her because my experience was so great. And it just like obviously brings back memories and holding your baby for the first time and meeting them and all of that. But then we've also had, conversations that like, we're good with Luna. Like Luna, she's everything we've ever wanted. But then we've also said, like, we know how much joy and happiness this child has brought us. Yeah. Why wouldn't we want to do it again?
Yeah. So ultimately, I think yes.
Yeah,
we do. Like to answer that question, like short answer, yes. However, we're just figuring out what makes most sense for us
in terms of timing.
There are some things coming down the line in the next couple months that we're factoring in.
Yeah.
And I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah, maybe big life changes and new things, and
so it's like obviously you need to consider that.
Yeah,
but yes, I think we do.
And then on the other hand, I don't want there to be a super big age gap between them, especially if it's another girl. Obviously, we can't plan it. So
yeah.
And we also go like, do we want a boy or a girl? Like, yes, we want a boy. Like, I would love Taz to have a boy. Like, I would love a boy, but like, he is surrounded by women right now. Our 2 dogs are women. My mom's here, Luna.
Yeah.
And so it'd be nice to have a little bit more testosterone. And I would love. I went ice skating the other day, and I saw a couple dads with their kids, and they were like 3 years old, and they were just so cute. And I know Taz would be so cute as like, can you imagine a little Taz in the ice skating rink and like
he's gonna be skating before he can walk.
Yeah, there was this 3-year-old. I was like in shock seeing this little kid, and I was like, Taz, look at this little kid. All that to say is I would love a boy for Taz and obviously for me, but
gotta keep that bloodline going.
Yeah. And then I would love a sister for Luna because I didn't have a sister, and I know how great sisters are and how and you have that like bond with that sister. And down the road when she's like in her teens and wants nothing to do with me, I want her to have someone that you know. But
so like if we have another one,
and it ends up
being a girl,
we're like
we gotta try for a boy.
Oh,
Oh,
That's awkward.
We got to try for a boy. But if we have a boy, then we could potentially be done.
No,
No,
I was going to say the opposite. I was going to, if we have a boy, we have to try for a girl for Luna.
Wait, why?
Why not?
Okay.
I don't know. We're a mess, guys. We don't know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much to think about. It's so much. And then I
consider.
said something, I filmed a little get ready with me for TikTok. And I was thinking about how everybody talks about how hard it is to be a parent because like you're so busy and you never get to sit and rest and this and that. But nobody really talks about how hard it is being a parent because your heart literally lives outside your chest 24/7. And it's a lot for me. Like emotionally, I am spent. And to add another one, like I know it brings it brings happiness, but also like I struggle a lot with fear and I have a lot of anxiety surrounding that. And like it's a lot to do it for a second one.
It is a lot.
Let's change the subject before I start crying because I feel the tears welling up in my eyes. But no, it's yeah, it's just a lot to think about.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's a lot in every aspect of the word.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so much love. It's so much happiness, but it's a lot of stress. It is like being parents is stressful, but then like,
but it's so worth it.
You get
like
to the end of the day,
yeah.
And like it was just like a long day, and Luna was just like on one, and then we get into bed, and immediately, do we take pictures today? What pictures do we have? And we look at her, and we pull up the Nana, and then we look at her, and we're like, oh, she's so cute. Look at those lips. Look at that profile. She's so cute.
I know.
And then so it's a lot, like I said, in every sense of the word. But
yeah, and the more I think of it, the more I think I want a bigger family. Just imagine like Christmases in like 5 years or like 10 years and
yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Yeah. Next question.
Next question. Okay, we'll finish with this. Somebody asked, how involved is he with the Fit Club? Behind the scenes details, will we see him teach?
Wait, did someone really ask that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Y'all don't want none of this smoke.
I thought we'd expand on this so we can kind of talk about what you do like fully with everything.
Yeah. I'm gonna sit back.
How's your knee?
Knee's okay.
Okay, good.
I recorded a podcast yesterday, and I was sitting weird and my knee hurts.
Also, we didn't talk about the new room. This is Taz's office. He was lazy to move the equipment. So I said, fine, get your way. I'm just kidding.
You're interviewing me.
Yeah, he's like, you're interviewing me in my space. Yeah, so we'll answer Fit Club first because so right now Taz is mostly doing all the video stuff and he edits the videos. Yeah, that's it, right?
Yeah, so I handle all the like engineering for the lives. Make sure audio sounds good, video looks good.
Right, I was going to add that after.
But in terms of video stuff, like that's still in line with that. Hopefully this year, getting more into like the marketing side of things to get more of a specific like marketing funnel going. Yeah.
Right now it's just me and him, obviously, with the Fit Club, and it's going really well. So we want to try to, bring in some team members to help. But right now, Taz is, let's say on a regular day, he'll just make sure the camera's set up and it's set up with the right settings. My mic is on. It's on. I've had a couple workouts where the mic was not on. And we had to scrap it, but he'll do that. And then after I finish the workout, I give him the little he gets SD card and downloads it and trims it a little bit. There's not much editing that goes into the actual workout because I'm doing it like the full workout. And then he'll upload it. And then I used to do the title and description and all that stuff, but we're trying to offload some of that and give it to him to help me because I do too much right now. And then with the lives, like he said, I would not be able to do this without him. That's for dang sure. He makes sure that everything, I don't even know the terminology for it. The things that need to get done are done so that we can go live and you can see the videos on the app.
Yeah. She just walks in, gets mic'd up and goes.
Yeah.
Like that's
totally
really what it comes down to.
Yeah. And then that's Fit Club. And then what else? What else am I thinking? Oh, podcast, obviously.
Yeah.
The podcast, he has always edited it I was like, I can't do this alone. Like, I need you to edit it for me, and then whatever. And so he's been doing that. He'll edit it and then put it up, and then that's it. And then for YouTube, last year we tried, if we were going to do vlogs. YouTube is something that we've been trying hard
to figure out how that fits into everything.
Yeah,
right
it's a lot. It's a lot. Like, I don't understand how these families are vlogging all the time with children. Like, I do not understand it. But we tried last year, like, if we're going to do this, you have to edit it, and it worked for a couple, and then it kind of like fell by the wayside. And then we're trying that up again. And that's it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All your social stuff is kind of like you with brands and your vlogs and Get Ready With Me. That's all you.
That's all me.
Anything that involves a camera though is typically me. So
yeah. Any final words of wisdom?
Wisdom.
What do you want for 2025? We'll end with that.
Ooh, what do I want for 2025? I want growth in all areas of life.
Yeah.
I would say. And I think the word of the year, commit, is at the foundation of a lot of that.
Totally.
Your word of the year, discipline, is at the foundation of a lot of that.
Yeah.
So
also, sorry that like, if you have not done this word of the year thing, I'm telling you, do it. It is actually life-changing.
And it's not like, don't pick a random word.
No. Yeah.
Like, think about it, pray on it. If a word like really speaks to you and you're like, oh wow, that's definitely something that either you need to work on for this year, or you want to make it like a central
theme in your life,
theme or pillar in your life, do it.
I'm telling you, if you do it right, it's life-changing. And you have to honestly always be thinking of that word. Because, like, for example, if your word is discipline, like mine, and your alarm goes off at 5:30 and you're like, oh no, I don't want to. It's very easy to say no. But then if you think about that word of the year, it's like, frick. Like, I'm
disciplined.
And it helps you show up as a person that you want to be. So do it. And if you haven't shared your word of the year, share your word of the year in the comments, so we can hold you accountable if you'd like.
Yeah. No, we mentioned at the beginning that we would potentially touch on like Luna and her discipline and like how she's being tested. I don't know if we still want to do that or not.
No, I meant not in a different episode.
Oh, in a different
episode. That's a whole different episode.
Ooh,
for sure. Yeah. I don't have to. It's almost an hour. Like
we'll come up on like 57 minutes.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Bye. Just kidding.
See you in the next one.
No, thank you so much for joining us. This was so much fun. If you have any other questions that you have for Taz and I, you want to do this again, let me know. We'd love to do this. This is almost like a date too. Like, we get to talk and like, we don't really get to do this. So selfishly, get him on again. Thank you so much. Anything else you want to say before we say goodbye?
No, figure out y'all's word of the year.
Yeah.
And commit to it.
LOL. Have the discipline.
To commit and use your whole heart.
Oh, we love you guys. Thank you so much for joining, and I will see you next week. Love you. Bye.
Later.